let's try that command one more time. Okay, great. Yes, that was a more than likely a firewall issue for my server. Okay. Okay. Enter the password. We're going to change about that. Okay. Now trying to log into this machine and check in .ssh/authorized keys. Okay, now let us see if we have a folder called authorized keys. Yes, we do, and let's see what it has inside of it. Okay. Actually, no, we'll have to cat that. Concatenate. Okay, wonderful. There you can see SSH-RSA, and if you look closely at the end of the key in the comment, it put in as online PC wizard at deb6-vmserv2. So that's the public key for the host server that we were trying to use to set up the connection to the guest server. Okay, good. So that's done. Alright. Now, what we're going to do is go over here now, and we're going to do the same thing we did over there. So we're going to do SSH keygen type. The type we're going to use is RSA, and you're going to use 2048. Now with RSA, just thought I'd tell you, you can use up to 4096-bit keys. So right now just 2048 will suffice for now. Let's just create, what did I miss? The B. Okay. Enter a file. Yes, we're going to save it as that default. No passphrase. No passphrase. Okay, let's double check. Let's cd into the .ssh directory, and let me just print the working directory so that you can see where we are. That's /home/onlinepcwizard/.ssh. Okay, let's see what's there. Okay, now we have, actually I just created them as root. I do not want keys as root. I want to do a key as online PC wizard. Let me do that command one more time. Now the reason why I want it for the online PC wizard user is because we are cutting out remote access via root. The setting that we need is to disallow root logins and have a normal user to log in, and then you have to have the root password to elevate the privileges or escalate the privileges. So there is a way that you can use that certain users can become members of a wheel group, but if you're members of a wheel group, there are different settings. You can either allow a user to SU access, allow a user to go to a super user prompt, which is a root prompt, if they have the root password, and then there's a way that you can just let them go to root just by typing SU alone without even entering a password. But we're not going to do that in this instance. Okay, so we are online PC wizard, yes. Okay, let's do that command again. Type RSA 2048 bits. Now I'm trying to explain these as I go along so that you'll have an idea of what exactly it is I am typing. No passphrase, no passphrase again. I'm going to LSA or L so that I have an idea of, so that we can see any files that are hidden. Okay, now we have the ID underscore RSA. We've got a private and a public key. Okay, so what I want to do now is, I'm on the actual same server. Now we're going to create different users, and I'm going to want to be able to even SSH into my machine. as a different user, or other users SSH as well. And what we're going to do is I'm going to copy that public key into the authorized key, because we want to enable strict modes, and I want to enable key authentication instead of the password authentication. So let's do it the right way. So we're going to cat id underscore rsa dot pub to, and I'm going to use the append. Now this is appending, this is redirection. Now you can have either one, which means to either write the file if it doesn't exist, or to overwrite the file if it exists, but I don't want that. So when I say overwrite the file, yes, overwrite its contents. Okay, so we want 2 because the authorized underscore keys already exists, and we want to send it to the, actually we're not in that folder. Let me go in that folder first. .ssh. Okay, so we're there. Let's do that again. Cat id underscore and append the output to authorize keys. Okay, so what we've just done is we've taken our public key, I'm sorry, Online PC Wizard's public key, yeah, and for the machine, for the login to the server, and if added that to the authorized keys as well. Okay, so if we cat the authorized keys, now we can see we have 2 RSA keys, and at the bottom it's the other one is saying Online PC Wizard at deb6-32-VM, which is our host server. Okay, let me just clear the screen. Alright, now let me go ahead and edit. This time I need to remember. Go to root. Okay, so let's go in this etc file. ssh.sshd underscore config. Okay, now remember the port. Let us change back that port before we forget. Now bear in mind, if this machine is going to be accessible over the internet, okay, you need to check and make sure that your firewall settings allow this, because it will not allow that by default. Internally, yes, but it will not allow it by default over outside of the machine or over the network, or not over the network, sorry, from an external network connecting to an internal network, WAN to LAN and what so forth. Okay, what you could do as well is you can put the listening address to listen on 192.168.1.8, or put it to listen on ETH0, but we're going to just leave that for now. The one at the top is for IP version 6, the one at the bottom is for TCP/IP version 4 and TCP/IP version 6. Okay, so let's put back the strict modes to yes, and permit empty passwords. Let's put that as, actually no, that's not the one we want. Password authentication, no, let's cut that out. Let's say no. Okay. Good. Now, remember when you finish service SSH restart. Restart that service, and let's see if we can log into ourself now. First as root, let me try as root. SSH, we should be denied. Then we put the port 18022, and we can put L. Well, just leave it. Just put 192.168.1.8. Okay, do you want to continue? Yes. Permission denied. Okay, so it brought us all the way out here, and then when we came down, you notice authentication that can continue, public key. Alright, try and private key, no more authentication message to try, permission denied. Now that is because we are root. So let me just exit and come back out. Let's try that again. SSH v port 22 and this 192.168. remember I told you, if the name is the same as the name, the username you have is the same as the username on the account you are trying to connect to, if they're the same, then you don't have to put in the username. Okay, now as you can see, I did not enter a password. That just sent me straight through. Now this is going to work perfectly afterwards for TCP forwarding, okay, to set up a SOCKS proxy via SSH and stuff, and that's at a later date. This will come in handy. So if you're on a network and you want to log into your SSH server, but still say you're at Starbucks or you're at McDonald's or something, and you want to log in securely to your machine to do some work, you can just use, if the key authentication is set up, you can just access your machine from where you are without having to type the password, because in reality you're still typing the password and keyloggers and what's not can still take that information. Well, keyloggers is end user side or client side, but the password would still be sent somewhat in clear text, and that's what we want to get away from. Okay, so let's exit. Now let us go over to this other machine. So key authentication is working. Let us try over here, online PC wizard. What am I doing? Okay, SSHV for verbosely, port 18022, online PC wizard at, I'm just trying to mix it up here, deb 6-32-VM1. Let's see what we get. Okay, there we go, straight through. As you can see, this is where I'm coming from. Let's see if we can see a full thing so you can exactly see what's inside of that command. Okay, it's still kind of short. Alright, so it's saying the connection is coming from, because remember I am physically on the, okay, I am actually working on the virtual server right now, but in this instance you can see my host name is deb6-32-VM1, okay, but I have connected via deb6-vmserve2.onlinepcwiz. Okay, so we can come out of that. Now it's gonna get pretty tiresome typing these commands over and over and over again. So what we're gonna do is, on this machine now, we're gonna create a config file. Okay, so let us double check it doesn't already exist. It's nano config. Obviously